Everybody wants to know God. They're created to know God. The reason they don't know God is they have a wrong picture of Him. You see, if I had a wrong picture of God, I wouldn't want to know Him either. And so what I've been trying to do for the last 25 years is help people get a right picture.
We all have those moments where we need a little encouragement to get through our day. Someone to remind us that we are not alone. Find peace. Embrace joy. Seek God daily. Welcome to Jesus Calling, Stories of Faith. For more than 50 years, John Maxwell has honed his leadership skills, first as a pastor, then as a mentor and speaker to business leaders around the globe. Today, he tells us about his unlikely shift from pastor to business coach and how he's learned far more from his failures than from his successes.
Hi, my name is John Maxwell, and for 25 years I was a pastor and loved it, and kind of thought I would do that and be that all my life. And I was writing books while I was pastoring, and my publisher one day came to me and said, "You realize 2/3 of your books are being read by the business community." And I was totally shocked by that. Truthfully, I was really kind of writing for pastors to help them learn how to lead better, and kind of that was kind of my audience, or at least I thought it was my audience. And what I discovered was, through the publisher, that the business community was taking my principles and they were applying it into their business. And it makes sense to me now because, everything I know about leadership is from the Bible. Immediately I felt called to go into that world because they don't have a lot of salt and light. And I thought, I'm going to leave the choir, I'm going to leave the church as we know it, and I'm going to go and do ministry to people that, the church isn't even on their radar screen. And long story now, I started off as a pastor for 25 years, and then for the last basically 25 years now, I've been in the business world being salt and light. I think God's Word is the ultimate leadership book. It really is. If you want to know how to lead well, you just read the Word, and there are just leadership stories and principles that you can just apply to your life. It's a pretty big leadership from going as a trained theologue with pastoring church for 25 years and shifting over to the business world, which I didn't have a business degree, and trying to connect with them. I knew I was called, but I didn't know how effective I would be. And for the first 3 years, it was all uphill because I have to connect with them in their world. And the common strand was the leadership principles that I had learned out of the Bible. But this was a mega shift. And I'll never forget, this was really in my first year when I made that shift, being on Kiowa Island and speaking to the largest lumber broker company in the world. And at the end of the day, they asked me, they raised their hand, they said, your leadership stuff, it's different. Where did you get it? And I told them, I said, you don't want to know. And of course, you tell somebody they don't want to know, and it just makes them want to know, And so I said, no, you don't want to know. And so now they got their hand back up. I said, no, we really do want to know. And I said, if I tell you, you're going to be disappointed. So I think we're better off just to not know. Well, they can't handle this. No, we want to know. So I said, well, everything I've taught you today, I learned from the Bible. And you should have seen it. I mean, there was an audible like, oh. And I said, I told you you were going to be disappointed. That wasn't what you thought I would say, and I told you you'd be disappointed. I said, now, I know you have a cocktail hour tonight at 7 o'clock, and I'll be there. I'll be over in the corner. And if you have any questions about God or about life, and you just haven't been able to put it together, I'll just hang there. Just come over and talk to me, and I'll do my best to maybe help you or answer the question. I went down there wondering if anybody would come even say hi to me. I mean, after I told them where I got all my leadership material. And as soon as I got there were a group gathered, and I got over in the corner, and the line for the next hour never stopped. And people were just asking me questions about God. And I can tell you, I walked out of that cocktail hour so convinced of my calling. One of the things I believe in your spiritual growth is all's well that begins well. And so I think the first part of the day needs to have some time in your faith and in your relationship with God. And Jesus Calling, I mean, the phone app, okay, to where every day I can get a message from Jesus Calling. I mean, I not only get it, I would say 25% of the time, I'm passing it on to someone else. And I'm saying, oh, I just read this. And what's beautiful about it, it's not long. You can do it in a couple of minutes. It's very simple. It's extremely connecting and relational, and it's very uplifting. And whenever I share my faith with somebody, being a Christian, the first thing I tell them is to get the app, Jesus Calling. I say, the first thing you want to do is start going to Jesus Calling every day. And so there's this wonderful business lady that I led to the Lord recently. And so I said, now, okay, get the Jesus Calling app. I mean, I have done this thousands of times. Get the Jesus Calling, get it every day, start your day with that. And I said, well, how's it going? And she said, well, it's going good. And she said, and I read Jesus Calling this morning. And I said, read it every day. Make it a habit. If you want to really develop a habit, you've got to have something that's easy to get to. You got to be going to it, not having to get to it. That app is just, to me, I mean, the book is good. I've got the book also, but I mean, to me, it's kind of like I'm on the run. I'm not home. I'm on a trip. I don't know of anything that has been an encouragement to Christians more than Jesus Calling. I know for me, it's like number one, and I just find it feeds me daily, and I like to pass it on daily.
We'll be right back with more of our interview with John Maxwell and learn how he guides people toward a new way of looking at God, right after this brief message about a new edition of Jesus Calling, perfect for the men in your life. Jesus Calling has a wide array of book styles for all types of readers. Now, there's something new that's designed to appeal to the men in your life. The same beloved Jesus Calling content now comes in a leather-soft, yet durable slate gray cover that is perfect for the man on the go and makes a great gift for dads, uncles, brothers, whoever that special man is in your life. Check out the new gray leather soft edition of Jesus Calling today at JesusCalling.com or wherever Christian books are sold.
I do a teaching on the 4 pictures of God. The first picture is a wall, a big, foreboding wall. And we're on the outside and God's on the inside. And a lot of people, when they think of God, they go, yeah, there's a God, but they never make what they would call a personal relationship or connection with Him, because they've got this wall, this barrier. And then I help them say, if you have that picture of God, it's a wrong picture. It really is. And the reason I know that is because in the very beginning, I mean, you go back to God creating man, Adam and Eve, when they sinned, they hid from God. It was God who came looking for them. It wasn't man saying, oh my gosh, I blew it. I got to go get to God and tell Him I'm sorry and I got to kind of make amends here. No. They hid. We all hide. I hide. You hide. Sin causes us to hide. God will jump the wall. That's what Jesus did. I mean, He jumped the wall, came out of heaven, came earth, put on the clothes, the flesh, the whole deal. He jumped the wall to get to you. The second picture that people have, the wrong picture of God, again, is like a stairway to heaven, and I'm going to climb it. It's like a stairway of good works. And I'm just going to be a good person, a good neighbor, a good family person. And they start climbing, they start climbing. It's a gift. And there's nothing that we can do to deserve or, we just get prideful and kind of look at each other and compare ourselves and say, I think I'm a little closer than you because I'm a little bit better person. And it just doesn't work. The third picture, though, is I tell them to, picture this is terrible, a garbage dump. And there's nothing enduring about a garbage dump. I mean, nobody has ever said, let's go take a walk by the garbage dump today. Nobody ever does this. No. What happens is, it's a garbage dump. And we don't want to see the garbage. We don't want to smell the garbage. We don't want to get around the garbage. And there are a lot of people, they got a whole bunch of garbage in their life. And what they say is, God is not interested in me. I mean, if you knew what I had done, and so I help them. I say, again, wrong picture. In fact, what's really interesting is God's incredibly interested in all your junk. When Jesus was on earth, the religious community, the hardest part of the religious community was handling Jesus was he was always hanging with sinners. And they couldn't handle this. And Jesus said, let me explain something to you. I'm a doctor. Basically, the people I see are sick people. And he just said, you got to understand, I'm on a mission. And my mission is to get around people that have garbage in their life. So if you think that God doesn't want you because of garbage, you got a wrong picture of God. And then the last picture is the door, where Jesus is knocking at the heart's door. And basically he's saying, I want a relationship with you. By the way, he initiates the relationship. I don't. If I'm 1,000 steps from God, he takes 999 steps to my door. He just says, Maxwell, can you just take one step and open the door? I want to come in. He initiates the whole relationship. And I talk to him about how God really wants a relationship with them more than they want a relationship with him. And how that relationship has the ability to change their life. The book Leadership is all about shifts that we make in our life that will allow us to basically connect better with people so that we can have a stronger relationship with them and add value to them and help them a lot. When people ask me how do they apply leader shifts to their life, well, most people, they think, well, if I'm not a leader, this wouldn't be a book that would connect with me. And what I teach is very simple. Leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. So you don't have to have a leadership position to be a leader. A mom influences her family. So would you like to be able to influence them more effectively? If so, then let me teach you some leadership influence principles that will help you do that. And leader shifts is all about being adaptable, finding out where other people are and meeting them on their common ground and asking questions. In fact, I have a whole chapter on asking questions and how I had to shift from directing, where I would tell people what to do, to connecting, where I would ask questions. And the moment I asked questions, I started connecting with people because now I'm valuing their opinion and I'm starting to influence and lead them from where they are, not from where I am. I'm not saying, come to where I am and let me influence you. I said, no, let me find out where you are and see if I can help you here. And then bring them to perhaps where they would want to go. I've learned a lot more from my failures than I have from my successes. When I'm succeeding, it's kind of like, let's just celebrate and aren't we wonderful? But when I'm failing, I'm saying, okay, there's something's wrong here. I've got to figure this out. And so what I really teach people all the time is to fail forward. That as you fall, just go 3 feet, fall forward and get back up, and you've already gained 3. And all my life, I've done a lot of failing forward. And I tell people all the time, don't count your losses, count your lessons. And so when people come to me and they'll say, I had a terrible loss here, I'll listen to it. And when we're done, the first question I have is, okay, what did you learn? What did you change? What did you improve about this? Because if you learn from your lessons, if you learn these incredible lessons from failure, you don't repeat that failure.
You can find John's book, Leadership, or pre-order his next book called The Leader's Greatest Return at your favorite book retailer today. Next time on Jesus Calling Stories of Faith, we speak with pilot Captain Tammy Jo Schultz. In April 2018, Captain Schultz was flying Southwest Flight 1380 when the left engine of the plane blew apart. In the crucial moments after the explosion, Tammy Jo prayed for the courage to bring her passengers to safety and for the words to give them hope that everything was going to be okay.
I pushed my PA button and made a PA that said, It wasn't my most elegant PA, but it was that we're not going down. We're going into Philly, because I wanted to know that the cockpit was still in control of the airplane. We had a plan and we had a destination. And it was a takeaway for me that that element of hope had such a change on people and their actions and their reactions. It didn't change our circumstances. Hope doesn't have to change our circumstances to change us.
Thank you for watching Jesus Calling Stories of Faith. To learn more about how to keep up with our shows bi-monthly and to listen to our weekly podcast, please visit youtube.com/JesusCallingBook to view and hear previous episodes, and to watch a short informational video about how to access all things Jesus Calling on audio and video formats. Plus, learn how to subscribe to our podcast and video channels. Your subscription helps get the word out to more people who will benefit from these inspirational stories of faith.